Welcome to the Hey Hot Mama podcast. I'm Jen Peralt, founder of Hot Off the Rack and Hot Mama Collective.
And I'm Liz Guadati, Jen's mom, also known as the OG Hot Mama.
We're a mother-daughter duo having real conversations about motherhood, health, life, and finding more joy in the everyday moments.
And Jenny is known for her positive outlook and daily gratitude practice. And together, we're here to share stories, perspective shifts, and plenty of laughs along the way.
Because at the end of the day, we all deserve to feel like the hot mamas we truly are. Welcome to the Hey Hot Mama podcast. I'm Jen Peralt of Hot Off the Rack and Hot Mama Collective.
And I'm Liz Guadati, better known as Jenny's mom.
Potentially the OG Hot Mama, even though I like to think of myself as the OG Hot Mama.
I think you are the OG Hot Mama. You're welcome.
You. What do you have in your hands there?
My notes that I got ready for you.
That we had to type. Let me see that. Please let me see that.
There. You go.
Literally, I don't need.
Okay,
nobody
Jenny
can read this. I don't even know if you can.
Well, I probably can't, but here's the thing. You literally gave me no time to prepare for this.
Okay, she's lying. We've been talking about this podcast since last year.
I know, but that doesn't mean that I know when you're ready to do it. You call me up. You're like, here, Mom, in 2 days you have to have this. As though I have no life, Jenny. I am not sitting at home going, gosh, I hope my daughter calls and gives me something to do. So I am busy. That is the time I had to invest in you.
All right.
So you're welcome.
I'm actually
a little
glad.
gratitude.
Well, I'm
a
glad.
Little gratitude.
You're right. A little gratitude. I'm glad that you're prepared
You're
today.
welcome.
I'm glad that you're prepared because there's something really important we have to address. It is the question that I get asked all day, every day. How do your mom's legs look like that at age 62? And we must know, we can't go on without this question being answered. So let's hear it.
Well, I don't think they're going to like the answer. And can I tell you before that, speaking of, I have been so thankful and just appreciative of all the compliments that I have gotten.
Yeah, you have your own hype team.
I do. I mean, it motivates me and it also makes me realize I cannot skip leg day. Because these people
never
think
skip
I don't.
Again.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't.
No, I have. I mean, really, it was just so nice to get those compliments and I very much appreciated them. But I don't think the answer is going to be any great and wonderful answer. And for me, it's consistency. Genetics definitely play a role. But you have to work the gene. You're given the gene, but the gene doesn't work itself. You have to put in the hard work for the results that you want.
Well, take us back to the very beginning so we can really understand how you got here. Because I'm sure people are like, great, genetics, cool. Genetics don't work forever, do they? Like, sure, when you're this age, your genetics play a huge role. But when do you need to put in even more work? Or what did your childhood look like when you're talking about putting in the work for these genetics to work?
Childhood definitely helps. I was a gymnast in high school. And I think when you're in sports and when you're young, you develop that foundation of what it's like to work hard for a skill, to be active, and to be physically fit. I also saw my parents older playing volleyball with their friends. So I kind of got my normality was you continue to be active. I even thought I was going to do gymnastics in college.
Well, tell us about gymnastics first. Tell us about when did you start gymnastics?
I started gymnastics actually in high school, and because my parents could not afford to put me in a gym. But before that, I would be in the backyard just tumbling back and forth. In fact, I tumbled so much back there that Dad didn't even have to cut the grass because there was a pathway where no grass grew.
Wait, what do you mean your parents couldn't afford a gym? You just said I was in gymnastics, but my parents couldn't afford a gym.
So I was on the Baton Rouge high school team. And they cover.
Okay, so you weren't taking like recreational
right, where you go to a gym
you
and
were
pay an
doing it at
expensive
school.
fee. Yes, doing it at school. But luckily, I had a great coach. He took me under his wing, and I was able to practice a whole lot and improve there. And I actually thought I was going to continue in college. But fun fact, actually, no, hurtful fact, because it still hurts today. The LSU gymnastic coach came to our high school state meet. And after the meet was over, the coach came over to me and my teammate, and he said, the LSU coach was here looking at one of you today. And it was not me. Dreams crushed. At that point, I figured out, what am I going to do now? And then I discovered cheerleading. And I saw these guys throwing these girls up in the air and catching them. And I thought to myself, someone's going to throw me up in the air and I can flip and I don't have to land perfectly on the ground. this is
Oh,
a
right.
sport
Somebody's
for me.
going to catch you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone's going to catch me.
Yeah.
So I said, this is the sport for me. And I actually did cheerleading in college, all 4 years. I did 5 years, but I did cheerleading for 4 years. And while I was in college, I also started weightlifting, running, and got a degree in dietetics. So during that time, I was able to get a really good foundation of nutrition and exercise.
And then after you graduated, did you put that degree to use? Where did you go? What did you do?
I moved out to Southern California. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody. And I was lonely. And I think I ate to comfort myself. I mean, I would eat 5 pieces of bread. Now, it was low-calorie bread, but nothing is low-calorie when you have 5 pieces. So I gained weight. And during that time, I still continued to exercise. But I learned you cannot outrun the fork. So even
Yes, that's something that she still tells me to this
I
day.
tell you to this day.
And before, anybody takes that in a negative context, is she being a little ugly? Maybe. But
It's the
she's also
truth.
just reminding you that like you can work out all you want,
Yes.
but if you're not eating properly, you're not going to see the change you want to see. You're not going to see all of that work that you put in. You're not going to be able to see all of it.
And that goes back to consistency in both exercise and nutrition. So as time passed and I got a life in California, I was able to go back to my regular habits and get back on track, which is very important because I feel everyone through their journey in life hits a wall with health and nutrition. But you've got to find that motivation that's going to help
wall
you get through
can happen
it.
in so many different parts of life. Yours happened
Absolutely.
after college. For some people, it happens after marriage, after kids. And
If there's an illness.
if there's an
And-
illness, yeah,
And a lot of times it doesn't just happen once.
right.
It's going to happen
You're going to hit the
continuously.
wall so many times, and you have to have those habits built up, that consistency that you're talking about, that you can go back to and slowly build those habits back up to get back over the wall, because that wall is going to show up time and time again.
It will show up time and time again. And you need your why on why you want to get over it.
And what is your why?
My why for me is I want choices. If I am 59 and I go to a college campus and see a group of cheerleaders, practicing, I want to be able to go over there and do a stunt and for 5 minutes of my life be a 20-year-old
And she
cheerleader
did do that.
again.
She was on,
I
were
did
you
do
in
that.
Montana? Is that where you were?
I was in Montana.
They were in Montana and they went to the university to kind
Beautiful
of walk
campus.
around.
And I
And-
saw a group of cheerleaders practicing. And for a moment in time, I was back on a college. I was 20 again. And I just walked right over to them and said, hey, I did this 40 years ago, but in my mind, I think I could still do it. Will you do a stunt with me? And we did. And because I was in good shape, I was able to do it. And I think what resonated with people, because we got
we
10
didn't
million
even
views.
say that. So my stepdad was there with my mom and he took a video of it and I reposted it. And then UCA reposted it again and it got over 10 million views because this random lady just popped over to cheer practice and asked if she could stunt and she hit it.
And I hit it.
And the first try.
I
And I
did.
mean, it's not like anybody
Okay,
except
well,
for the cheerleaders there.
It helps to have a young guy.
Yes,
Being
for
the
sure.
base.
Right.
He did his part. But I think it resonated with a lot of people my age because they're like, oh my God, I want to do that again. I want that memory again. And why should we tell ourselves no? We
Right.
have the opportunity to do that. So I get over my wall because I want choices.
Yeah, we're going to go off on a tangent here really fast. But actually, I was telling Blake the other day that I wanted to start this gym called Glory Days. And it would literally be a place where you had cheer practice, track practice, basketball, all these things that people did when they lived their glory days. And they could go and just hop into practice. And it would be
Yeah.
led by high school kids.
Yeah.
They would be the coaches.
Oh.
And you would just show up for practice. And that would be your workout because that's when workouts were fun,
yes.
when you were doing an
Yeah.
activity.
yeah.
Anyway, if anybody wants to invest in glory days, I'm here.
Hey,
I'm
I
here
might
with this
do
idea.
that.
You
I
want
might
to?
do
You want to
that.
invest?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I mean, I convinced you to sponsor this podcast.
You did.
Next
You
up,
convinced
Glory
me,
Days.
You convinced me of a lot of
Next
things
up,
I don't
glory
want to
days.
do.
But okay, let's get back on track here. What do your days look like now? And when I say, what do your days look like now? You're so busy, apparently. You're so busy.
Thank you for recognizing
You're too busy
that.
for me. But tell me what your workouts look like throughout the week.
All right. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for a long time. And my workouts now in my 50s and 60s are very different from what my workouts were in 30s and 40s. So now in 50s and 60s, I feel lifting weights is very important. So I work out 5 days a week, lifting weights for about an hour a day. And what that looks like is on Mondays, I do different body parts. So Mondays is dedicated to shoulders, Tuesday, Friday, legs. Legs get 2 days.
2-day legs.
2-day legs.
You're looking at 2-day legs
Can't skip
over
either
here.
day. Can't skip either day. Wednesday is chest bicep or chest triceps. And then Thursday is back and biceps. And if I skip a day, if I have to miss a day, such as today, because I'm doing this for you,
Thank
I will
you.
do makeup
What?
work.
You skipped your
did.
workout.
Well, wait
for
a
me
second
today?
now.
Oh, you're going to make it up.
I'm going to do makeup work. So I will do makeup work on Saturday or Sunday. But at this age, and I think even at a younger age, but especially as we get older, lifting weights is very important. And I lift heavy weights. By the time I get to my 7th, 8th rep, it's a struggle. So you have to definitely put in the work. And also having a community. I work out at a gym and I love having the people there. I've got a team. I've got my gym mates that are there with me, Cheryl and Danielle, and they keep me accountable. They also insult and ridicule me when I don't push myself hard enough because what are friends
in a
for?
loving way.
In a loving way. And that's what friends are for.
Yes. And actually, it's not even just those people that you work out with directly. It's even all the people that you pass that morning, because I see so many people that are like, I saw your mom in the gym this morning, and y'all aren't working out together, but it's like they kind of expect to see you.
Yes. Yes. It's those people they inspire me too.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people there that inspire me.
I have a group of girls that I work out with. If they're listening right now, they're like, yeah, Jen, on Tuesdays, that's about it. I'm going to start showing up other days. But right now.
Okay, remember, you just committed to them.
I did. But right now we go every Tuesday, and we text in the group earlier that day about if we're going to make it or not. And I told them that I secretly always hope they're going to say they're not going so that I don't have to go. But they always go. They always go.
Imagine that.
I know.
That
so I'm like, all right,
that consistency.
I'm coming. Yes, that consistency.
And you know what? In their 50s and 60s, they're going to be able to stunt or do whatever they want to do.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, that's something to talk about. Sorry, I'm talking all over the place here. When you have a community that is doing things that inspire you, I think that makes you a better version of yourself. So when I'm surrounding myself with these other women who put in the work in their career, with their families, with their health and their fitness, it's holding me accountable to do the same, because I feel like when I'm with them, I want to feel as good as they do and as good as they look. Yeah. So I think it's great to surround yourself with the type of people that you want to be.
Now that you mention that, when you're working out, not only are you physically doing something and increasing all those endorphins, but you're also increasing your social activity. And that's super important too. So it's totally a win-win.
I completely agree with that. In fact, I pretty much don't work out without a friend. I'm very codependent. I know you didn't want to hear that.
No.
She's so upset now.
Well, please have that discussion with your therapist, not your mother.
We're going to unpack therapy later.
We will. Now, we talked about consistency with two things, exercise and nutrition. And we talked about how it's hard to have
talk about nutrition.
We will talk about nutrition because remember back when I was exercising but still gaining weight because I knew I was eating too much. So talking about nutrition. And once again people may be disappointed.
Quick, I want to talk about the eating too much because I think that we all realize when we have eaten too much ourselves. When you start to feel that feeling of your stomach cannot, like, why did you let yourself get there? We're not talking about eating too much as in you're trying to count your calories. We're talking about listening to your body and knowing that you've taken it too far. And you know when you have. You know when you're pushing the limit.
You do. And I think when it comes to nutrition, people aren't going to like this answer either because I believe in a variety and I don't deprive myself because of that reason right there. I think when you deprive yourself, then that's when you're going to want to overeat and eat it all. So I just do a very well balanced diet, lots of fruits, vegetables, carbohydrates, and proteins. Really, I think the American Dietetic Association diabetic diet is excellent because it's all about a good variety with portion control.
Actually, I completely agree with that because not that I have any background in dietetics, but whenever I was pregnant, I had gestational diabetes and I had to meet with a dietitian and she went over everything that I should be eating in a day. And lots of times it wasn't about the actual
food itself.
It was about the portion.
Absolutely.
It was about the portion and the combination of things. So you want to make sure that you're having this amount of protein if you're going to have this amount of carbs and making sure that you have the right amount of each. Do I know how to give you that advice? No, I would go seek a dietitian, but it was really helpful. Yeah. And my gestational diabetes diet is honestly something I should follow all the time. And not just for losing weight, but for staying. I felt so good because I kept on that diet even after I had the baby because I got so used to it. And then I felt so good. Did I stray from the diet? Absolutely. I did stray from that diet.
Once again, it goes
we
back
hit the
to
wall. But then I got back over the wall. We'll talk about how I got back over the wall. We'll talk about how I got back over the wall.
I don't know if can you say that for therapy instead of mom?
No, okay. Anyway, back to your answer. We were talking about how you don't deprive yourself. And guys, let me tell you, when we're saying that she doesn't deprive herself, girlfriend over here has sweets every day. If you have a cake or cupcakes or anything with icing,
the icing
house,
will be missing.
It will be gone. She goes and eats all the icing off of it.
And that's portion control. So instead of eating that whole piece of cake, I just eat the icing off
all the icing.
And I am happy and I am satisfied. So I think portion control is very important and not depriving yourself. And then therefore going on binge. Anything that you're going to do consistently throughout your life is a good, healthy diet.
For our listeners, I want to really make sure that they have these takeaways from all of your answers here because you took us through a long story of your life. And our three main takeaways are don't deprive yourself and work on portion control and build habits that you can sustain. So that's why you talked about that not really gestational diabetes diet, but
the American Dietetic Association diet.
Because those are habits you can sustain. It's not a fad diet.
Exactly.
You don't want to
and
take
it's food
something
you're going to see every day.
Right.
It's food you're going to have throughout the rest of your life. So learn how to manage it and just be conscious of it. I mean, my question is, when did we start dipping pizza, bread, and cheese into ranch dressing?
I absolutely
when did
do
that happen?
I started it. It was me because that makes me so happy. And that, my friends, is called living your life.
We need to be conscious of that. We can't just be thinking,
do you not remember when we thought about naming my baby Ranch? When I was pregnant, I just loved ranch. So I've always loved ranch, but I loved ranch so much. I wanted to dip everything in ranch that we thought about naming Beck Ranch.
Yes, when the baby was a baby in your tummy.
He loves ranch too. And you know what? My mom might be judging you for dipping everything in ranch, but I'm not.
Well, what I'm saying is be conscious.
You.
Don't think in your mind, all I had was a piece of pizza for lunch. No,
you're right.
Didn't.
No, you are right about
200 calories
the condiments.
With the ranch dressing.
Condiments, absolutely. So, like ketchup. I also love ketchup.
Be conscious of what you're eating.
Right. So maybe less dipping.
Less dipping.
Our second one is know that you don't need a gym or extra time in the day to stay active. Get creative. And tell us what that was for you. And, I feel like this deserves a whole episode on different age brackets of what your workouts looked like during different seasons of life. Mm-hmm. But let's really take it back to not needing a gym because people are in seasons of life where they can't necessarily afford to join a gym.
Correct. Or they don't have time.
Or they feel like they don't have time. Yeah. Like myself. And when I say I don't have time, I just mean I'm like, I have a job and kids and now I've got this podcast and I'm hounding my mom. It means you don't
make time.
Right. Yes.
But
we're saying how you don't need extra time. Yes. You have to use the time that's given to you and you have to get creative and tell them what that creativity looks like.
Okay. And remember I said in your 50s and 60s, it looks different than when I was in my 30s and 40s. So in my 30s and 40s, I was involved with my kids. I was taking you to choir practice. I was taking Kate to soccer. I would run around the church if I had time for that while you were at practice. I would run choir.
She's not like, it's not like she's super religious and was going to extra church and then running around it.
Could we save that for another podcast?
We'll save that for another podcast.
And if I took Kate to soccer practice, I was running around the soccer field. You don't need to be watching your child 24/7 at their practices. The coaches do not like that.
She's a coach. That's why she's saying that.
And even when I coached cheerleading, I was stretching with the girls. I conditioned with them. So
That's
I got
right.
in.
She was my cheer coach and she was on the floor working out with us.
Yeah. So you do have to get creative, but there are ways to do it. Take your kids outside to play, ride bikes with them, play ball with them in the yard. And that is a great way of instilling values of health and exercise in them at a young age.
Right. Because they see you.
They see you. As I
active.
saw my parents
Right.
playing volleyball.
And my
It
mom
becomes the
did
norm.
actually, you did take us for bike rides every night. We went for bike rides in the evening or a walk. And
Yeah.
and I remember Kate would be on the back of your little bike.
And now I take your boys for
Yes.
walks, and I have them climb trees and do activities because that's important.
And then our last one, which is probably the most important, it's stay consistent and know your why so you can always get back over that wall because that wall is going to constantly
It's going to come
show
back.
up.
The wall's coming
You're
back.
going to hit the wall.
Yeah.
And like you said, your why is that you want choices.
I wanna give
you want to
you-
be able to do whatever you want at any age.
And speaking of age, I want to give you another why. Your grandmother, Lolo, at the age of 80, was diagnosed with kidney cancer. And at the age of 80, because she was in such good health and had taken care of herself, she was able to have a kidney removed. And now at the age of 91, she is playing musical chairs with your grandson.
Yeah, we have
with
to
her
show that video.
Great-grandson. And she's winning.
And do you remember when Beck said, my
did.
5-year-old, and he said this in the most sincere way, Lolo kept winning at musical chairs. And Beck said, Lolo, you can't play with us. You're too good. And he really meant that
He
because
did.
she kept winning.
He did. And he saw that. And that is something that's going to instill in him, this is the norm. You are active in the norm. And this is how I stay that way. So choices. Being in good shape and being healthy gives you choices.
I'm going to add one more thing to that. When my dad had MS, when he was diagnosed with MS, and I guess to give a little backstory on him, my dad was very athletic, ran marathons,
Ran
did
track for
triathlons,
UCLA.
track for UCLA. He danced. He did. And I think it was really the dance that gave him that core strength because you work your core so much in dance. And the doctors were always so impressed and shocked by his ability to have control over his body, even during MS when his whole left side was numb. I lied to you. His whole right side was numb because he's left-handed. And they were so impressed because he kept himself in such good shape. They were like, this is crazy that he can still do these things all the way till the very end. They were shocked at what his body could still do, even when his brain and his body weren't able to connect together.
Yeah. Life is going to happen and you don't know what it's going to throw at you. But this puts you in a great position.
Right, you want to be in the best position to set yourself
to
up
have
for
some
success.
choices.
Well, thank you for.
Well, I hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful, and I
think
hope that
so.
it
And I think-
inspired somebody to realize how important and to value their health and to take care of it at any age. You can start at any age, and it will bring you great value.
As far as my journey,
I want to hear this.
Yeah, let
journey.
me tell you my journey. Let me tell you my journey.
I can help you with the journey.
Thank you. I don't want your help.
Okay. All right.
I had two very athletic parents. My dad was a dancer. He
ran track for UCLA.
He ran track for UCLA. He played all kinds of sports. He could run marathons. And my mom
did the Boston Marathon.
Yeah, did the Boston Marathon, the LA Marathon. And then my mom is also very athletic. I do have some athletic abilities.
Yes.
And I do feel like I did take on some of those genetic traits. And when I say
You
that,
did?
even when I'm not trying very hard, I do feel like I'm lucky that things come a little more natural to me. But after I had kids, and actually while I was pregnant, I mentioned in the last episode that I dealt with gestational diabetes. And following that, I ended up getting blood work done and my A1C came back high. And we didn't know if that A1C was high because I've always had a bit of a resistance to insulin or if this came from the gestational diabetes. And sometimes it takes a while for your hormones to level out or sometimes it just changes your body. Now, here's the difference between me and my mom. I In fact, this is the first time I'm ever really talking about GLP-1. And the whole reason I never mentioned it on social media is because I didn't want my mom to know. Remember, we like to lie to our mom. Just this mom right here. Because, and it's
And here's a
fine.
good example of that.
Yes. And I would say that you've potentially shifted your perspective on GLP-1 and how you feel about it now. You don't have
Really?
to answer that. You don't have to answer that.
Okay.
I will say that I knew that she wasn't going to be a fan, that I was going to try it. But when these test results came back and said that my A1C was high, could I have completely changed my diet and just really focused hard and changed my numbers? Probably.
And I think you did when you were pregnant.
I
And
did.
You really watched your diet.
I did.
And you saw a difference.
Yes. But now I have 2 kids. And it feels a little different, right? Because there's not a baby in my body that I'm trying to also take care of.
Yeah.
And having those specific eating habits. So when I was presented with the option of trying GLP-1 to use as a tool to help me get my numbers back under control, I was going to take the tool. Why are you making that face at me right now?
I'll tell you why. You never told me that after you had a child that your A1Cs were high and that you were.
I did tell you that.
You're pre-diabetic?
I was.
When? After? When?
Yeah, probably about maybe like a year and a half after I had
gestational
Brooks.
diabetes.
Right. Yeah.
But
well, and then
after that,
I felt like I don't know. I forgot the exact number, but basically it was either like you do something now, and that was why I took that tool, or I could potentially have to take medicine for the rest of my life if I actually got diabetes, right? She's making faces at me right now in case you can't see her.
This is where I would really encourage people. Then that would be a big sign to change your diet.
Right. So I did change my diet, but I used a tool. And this is really funny that she doesn't like tools, considering she is a pharmaceutical sales rep, people. She literally sells medicine for a living, and she doesn't want me to use medicine. But it's fine, because guess what? This is what I was talking about in the last episode about I don't need my mom to validate things for me to feel confident in doing it. So I took this tool, life-changing, changed my life. So I did it consistently for 4 weeks. I did it for, let's see, we're in 2026 right now. I did it in 2024. I did it for 4 weeks. And then I did it every 2 weeks for a month. And then I did it for one time that November. And then I took a big break from it. And then I went back and had a maintenance shot. And she's making faces at me, guys.
Faces.
And you know what? Don't feel judged by her.
I'm not,
because it doesn't matter what other people think of you. And I don't, because it was one of the best decisions I ever made, because it literally, I feel like a different person again. And not even just, it's not like I was ever trying to get back to the person that I was before I had kids, because the thing is, kids change you. You're not going to ever be the same person. So I wasn't trying to be that same person, but I did want to be a better version of me. And GLP-1 was a great tool. I did not abuse it. I also had to use it in a different way, because since my A1C was high, my blood sugar would kind of change, and I couldn't just take it and not eat on it. I had to eat in a very specific way, like make sure that I ate breakfast, then a snack, then lunch, because otherwise my blood sugar would drop and I wouldn't feel good. And I've been able to maintain that new weight without it. And I really liked it from my experience. Obviously, everyone should discuss this with their medical providers.
Yes.
I am not telling you to take it. I am saying that it was a great experience for me. And my mother is sitting across from me judging me, and it's totally fine.
Listen, I can judge you. You are my daughter.
Yes.
I will judge you.
But
I'm not
everybody
judging
listening,
other people, but
yes.
okay. So I am a pharmaceutical rep. I do and have done it for 38 years. I think medicine is incredible. It's wonderful. It is a great tool. But I think diet and exercise, and by diet, what you eat, is just so important, and it can help you so much.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And that the GLP-1 is just a tool to help you really hone in and make sure that you can do that well. Because like I said, I have 2 kids now, and you even said that
what did I say?
Habits, you said those habits are easier said than done.
It doesn't mean don't do them.
Easier said than done. I am doing them. I'm just doing them. I also used a tool and it worked really well for me. And the reason why I wanted to come on here on the podcast and share that instead of on social media is because one, I was keeping it from my mother, which she did end up finding out. So it's not like she just found out today. And then also I didn't want anybody to say anything to scare me. I don't really take a lot of medicine, which stems from my mother, even though she's a pharmaceutical sales rep. We just didn't really use medicine for a lot of things. We would try and use the natural things first, making sure you're drinking water, taking care of your body. And then if you need medicine to support you, you take the medicine, right?
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
And I was so afraid of somebody telling me something to make me spiral and me start thinking that I had something wrong with me.
Yes.
And so that was
Due
why
to
I
their
didn't share, but I
experience,
feel like I could really speak to it on here and how it worked for me. But it was a question that I got a lot. People were asking me if I was taking it. And anytime people reached out to me through a message, I absolutely told them I was taking it. It was never a secret from the rest of the world. It was only a secret to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't want me to find out. And then you also didn't want other people coming in with their bad experiences and saying, this happened to me. And then all of a sudden your mind spirals and starts going, oh my God, spiral. Because if anything can happen, it's going to happen to you and you will get the side effects. I'm not in judgmental of it. I just don't want it to be the tool. I don't want
it is the tool.
Oh, okay.
You're saying it's because guys, she thinks it's the easy way out, but it's not the easy way out. You still have to do your part. And then on top of that, once you're done with the medicine, you have to maintain that. If you want to continue feeling good about yourself. And that's what I did, right?
Okay. Well, I hope you're doing the things that you need to be doing, exercising and eating a healthy diet.
I probably don't exercise near as much as you would like me to, but I do exercise and I like to go for walks. And
those are great.
Yes. And speaking of motherhood changing you and changing your body, it changes also every other aspect of your life. And that's okay. That doesn't mean lots of times it's for the better. And something that I realized recently is, yes, kids change your life and can complicate things, but then they also end up being the best part of everything. So while they complicate every little thing,
absolutely,
they also end up being the best thing. And I've found that through my gratitude journal, which speaking of, let's get into the gratitude journal because that is probably the number one thing over the past year and a half that has changed the game for me. Now, I did say that I've been doing gratitude journaling for about 3 years, but I shifted the way that I did it. And I have a gift for you.
Oh, okay. Because I don't journal.
You don't journal, but I brought you your own journal. And the journal on the front of the cover.
Do I have to spell correctly in this journal?
Do you have to spell correctly?
Yes. Because spelling.
No.
This is why I don't journal because I can't spell.
Yeah. You really can't spell, guys. On the front of the journal, it says, there are always flowers who want to see them. And I love that quote because it's talking about there is always joy if you look for it.
Yeah.
Always. If you look for joy, you will find it.
I totally agree.
In every difficult situation. And so that's why I really like this journal. And I'm going to tell you my exact journaling process.
Okay, good.
So the first thing that I write down, and this is when I get up in the morning, and I don't put too much pressure on it as far as like the exact time of the day that I do it. And if you miss a day of gratitude journaling, I'm sure you said it in your head. Right?
Okay, you know what? This is a lesson for me. Remember how I say consistency and doing it even when you don't feel like it? So I guess this is going to be a good lesson for me.
Yes.
In doing something that I'm not used to. Oh, are you going to read me your journal? Because I like to hear that.
Yeah, she just said, are you going to read me your journal? When let me tell you guys, we don't have a healthy relationship because she comes into my house and reads my journal. She comes into my house and reads my journal.
No, it's just, it's okay.
Anyway, so she already knows everything when I'm gonna read.
Well, I haven't read your latest. So.
Yeah. So I start by writing 3 good things that happened yesterday. So I write down, and it can be as simple as we sat down and had a family meal. It can be, in fact, let me read this one.
Okay.
It says, I got my closet organized. Blake had a safe trip home because Blake had been traveling. That's a good thing that happened yesterday.
You better, yes.
And then I wrote this. I made the most delicious dinner that I think my dad would have loved. That was a good thing that happened. Oh, it was an Asian dish. It was so good. It was miso brothy rice with chicken. It was delicious. I was very impressed with myself.
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Then I write down 3 times I felt happy. And I wrote cuddling with the boys, eating a warm home cooked meal that I made, and looking around in my clean closet and feeling good.
Okay.
These are really small things, but it makes you really reflect and think, when did I actually feel happy? Like, when was a moment that I felt happy? And it helps you put things into perspective to make sure you're doing more of those things for yourself. So obviously, feeling organized and on top of my life makes me feel happy. Cuddling with the boys makes me feel happy. Food always makes me happy.
It makes me happy too. No, I like that because, as we go through our life, like sometimes I'll wake up and I'll just like, for whatever reason, just kind of like feel down or feel blah, that I think is good to go back and just read these times that I was happy.
Yeah.
This is what made me happy.
I love looking
So
back
I
at
didn't
it.
think about journaling that way. In fact, I didn't.
Well, I like this way of journaling because it gives you prompts and it's very intentional.
My book is going to give me prompts?
No, it's not. I write these out myself.
Oh.
I write out the prompts myself.
Will you write them in
so
my
I write
journal?
down 3 times I felt happy, ... Then I
Oh.
write 3 things I'm grateful for. And I wrote happy and healthy children this morning. What a blessing. Every morning.
That is a huge
It is.
blessing.
It's huge.
Ah.
It's huge. Then I wrote that I have Kate to help. Kate is my sister, and she is such a huge help to my kids.
Servant.
Don't say that. She is very helpful. She likes to help me.
It's a win-win with both of
It is.
y'all.
It's a win-win. It's a
and
win-win.
I'm very proud of the relationship y'all have.
And my kids are so lucky they have like a second mom.
They do.
In Kate. And also it's so
a great relationship for them to have
and
throughout her
she
entire
works
life.
at their school. She's a teacher at their school. And so anytime, like right now, I'm thinking
Extended
about how
family
I'm
is so
podcasting and I'm not able to get to my phone. I lied, my phone's right here, but I wouldn't answer it. But it's great knowing that Kate is there.
at the school.
I mean, as well as Blake, obviously.
Yeah.
Amazing husband too. We just also like Kate. Blake also appreciates Kate.
Oh, he does.
Yes.
I know that.
I wrote down.
And she appreciates him.
Yes. I wrote down a fresh start and the fact that this is a fire horse year. Now, I wrote this down. She's looking at me saying, what's a fire horse year? I wrote this down on the Chinese New Year.
Oh.
Yes. And this is a fire horse year. If you didn't know this, I'm a horse. It's my year. It's actually a lot of people's years. It's going to be a really great year.
Really?
It is going to be an amazing year because it's a fire horse year.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to look into it.
All right.
You do.
I'm excited already.
Yes. And 3 good things that can happen today. I wrote the boys will have a fun time at the parade. We were going to a parade that day. And they can be small things, just like that. Like,
Oh,
you
this is
just
what
want
you're
them to
looking
have a good
forward
time.
to.
Yes.
Okay.
We will have an overall good day. And the reason why I had to say that is because Blake was out of town at the time. And I felt like I really needed to put that into motion. Like, even though Blake's out of town
I'm
and
still
I'm
gonna
bringing
have
the
a good
kids to a parade by myself, we're going to have a good time.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you?
We did. And you know why? Because Kate was there. Okay. Yeah. So, and and that's a part of being intentional and manifesting. It's putting those things into action to ensure that you have a good day. So I know that I want to have a good day. How am I going to have a good day? I'm going to ask Kate to join me.
I'm going to bring my resources in.
I'm going to bring in my resources. I'm a very resourceful person. Yes. And on another day, let's see. I'm going to read. Oh, another day I wrote down, I will get some exercise. I just wrote that down so that I can be more intentional about it. I'll have to look on the day following to see if I got exercise.
Oh, because you kind of answer yourself.
I do sometimes answer.
All right.
We don't know. We don't know on that day if I did get exercise. But most days when I write down, I will get exercise today, I do.
Yeah.
This has been such a great tool to me. I highly recommend to anyone listening right now. You don't have to go out and buy a special journal. This one's really cute. But you could write out these prompts for yourself, and it changed my life.
Journaling has been a big thing, though. A lot of people are speaking to it.
Yes. And I will write down very specific things. Like I will write down if I want to close on a project, if I want to get a new collaboration. And I'll even write down, I will get, which in case you're listening and you're not familiar with what I do, I am a content creator at Hot Off the Rack, I founded Hot Off the Rack in 2014. And so I'll write down that I will get a collaboration today because I am worthy of that. And I have put in the work, and that I am going to do XYZ to ensure that I get those collaborations. So I'm very intentional in the way that I write and manifest. And I will tell you, and you can ask my friends, all of it comes true.
Okay, so here's a great example, Jen. I sit here and say, oh, I exercise consistently because I've done it forever and it's so consistent for me. But journaling is something that I will probably struggle with, but it's a good uncomfortable moment for me.
Yeah. And you don't have to. I think it's great if you can do it every day. But even if you're doing it once a week, you can write down 3 good things that happened this week, 3 times I felt happy this week.
And then I think what I'm really going to love is as I get older, going back and reading it, I think that's
reading it is definitely the best part to see.
And you
everything.
are welcome to read mine anytime you want.
Yeah,
and if
because you read mine.
Well, only because if you didn't leave it right there
she
underneath
goes
your bed.
into my office under my bed. Yeah, that was when I was a teenager. Again, I'm telling you, we are not experts on mother-daughter relationships. We're just sharing our experience with you. But don't take everything we say seriously because she read my diary growing up.
Only because you had it out in plain sight underneath your mattress. It was not that hard to get to. And I wanted to keep up with what you were doing. That can be controversial.
But I'm sure everyone loved hearing about this journal experience, but we've got to wrap up and we have questions to answer.
But before we wrap it up, I am going to make that commitment because that is something that just like exercising she's
saying she's going to make that commitment because she's after this episode going to talk to me about how she wants me to make a commitment to working out. Fine. We will get to that. Now let's get into our Hot Mama Q&A. Again, most of the questions are directed towards you, and that's fine. That's fine that you are the star of this show. Oh, wait, no, this one's for me. What's one trait?
Can we skip it?
No. What's one trait that you inherited from your mom that you love?
Oh, well, it's kind of about me.
Yeah, you're right. And to make this question unhinged, what is something you don't love?
Oh, God, that's probably a long list.
Oh, I already know that. We'll start with the bad thing. Let's start with the bad thing. The one trait that I got from her, and I talk about it all the time, is I have zero concept of time. I'm late.
That is not a trait that you can inherit.
Oh, well, you found a way to make it happen. I found a way to make it happen. We have zero concept of time. And it's the worst thing because I don't want to be that way. And I try so hard. And Blake gets so mad. Both of our husbands, that's probably the least favorite thing from our husbands about us. They do not like that we're late and we're not trying to. It's our ADD that's so bad.
Well, here's the thing. I just think I have more time than what.
Yeah, no,
it's not going to take me as long.
Actually, did you know? You want to hear something really crazy? It's because we're positive people. So I'll tell you why. So the people who. Do you
see how we managed to turn this terrible trait into something positive?
Because it is something good. Let me tell you why. So the people who worry all the time, they're like, we have to leave 30 minutes early because we have to save time for traffic. We have to leave time for if I forget something and have to go run back and grab it.
Which you did today.
Yes, I did. That did happen. But you know what I think in my mind? Everything's going to go
great.
Yep. That we're going to get all traffic. Green lights. Yeah, it's no big deal. So I'm not saying that it's a strength. I'm not saying that it's a strength to be late, but I'm just telling you where it comes from. Yes. Yes. It's just because we're thinking only good things. It's my why. It's my why. And then the one thing that I do love is I am able to find the humor in everything. We're inappropriate laughers.
Yes. It's inappropriate humor.
And we're insensitive people. Strength and a weakness. But it's something I enjoy because I like being able to laugh when I'm uncomfortable. It's a great coping mechanism.
It's great.
It's a
great.
survival
and I have to say,
trait. It is a trait of survival. Being able to laugh it off and move on.
And listen,
those are survivors.
When you don't have that innoappropriate person to share it with, you miss it. I mean,
go find yourself an inappropriate friend.
I recommend it. I mean, your Uncle Darren, one of the best inappropriate people ever.
Yes. Are there any, I'll never do that when I'm a parent things that you actually stuck to and didn't?
Is this me?
That one's for you.
Okay. I think the only thing there is when I would see other kids who went through divorce or something like that, and I would see the parents make it difficult on the kid, that I thought, if I ever got divorced, I would never do this to my kids. And then, of course, unfortunately, we ended up getting divorced. And I think that is something that I kept. That was, something that I saw and I said, I will not do that.
Yes.
And luckily, though, I was able to do that because your dad, was...
They were very cordial. I can attest
to
that.
A good person.
Yes. In fact,
not everyone can do that for different reasons. But in my situation, we could. And so we did. And I think...
I would say I can attest to it. When I was a teenager, this is a joke, guys. Don't take anything we say seriously. I said, I don't get to experience the real beauty of divorce because you and dad talk too much. Well, because all my friends who had divorced parents, they could like sneak out and do this and pull things on their parents. I couldn't, because they kept in touch with each other and they both co-parented. And then also as we got older, they would celebrate every holiday together. I didn't have to pick and choose. And I was glad that I never had to experience some of the things that my friends experienced having divorced parents with them not getting along. So I can agree that she did do that. She stuck to it. If you could give advice to, this is probably for you.
Well, let me hear the question.
If you could give advice to a woman turning 30, what would it be?
Oh gosh, you answered that.
I gave you these questions to review.
You did. You did. And I thought even then when I read that,
that was a hard question.
Yes.
You could say that your answer, the habits. Habits are so important. It kind of establishing good habits for both yourself and your kids.
Yeah. Okay. Health. You've got to look at longevity. You've got to look at longevity. What do I want to look like? What do I want to feel? What do I want to do at 60? Do I still want to, parachute out of a plane?
Do you?
No, I don't want to parachute out of a plane. I don't want to be responsible for pulling that chute.
No, me
it's
either.
not going to happen.
It wouldn't.
I'm going to crash. So if I ever say I want to do it, I don't.
That means
yes,
you're
something's
out.
wrong.
Okay, got it.
Got it. Okay. If you, what do you want to do when you're 60, when you're 70, when you're 80?
Yeah,
and work on that now.
Investing in your future self.
Investing
at 30,
in your future self.
I think that's the perfect answer. If there's one piece of advice we could give to somebody turning 30, start investing in yourself.
And don't jump out of
your
parachutes.
Health. Don't jump out of parachute.
Would you ever jump out of a parachute?
No, never. I'm afraid of heights.
Oh my God, I forgot.
I'm afraid of heights. Yes. Okay, this is the last question. What were your thoughts when I started social media full time instead of a traditional career path? And keep in mind, guys, I did leave in my 5th year of college.
In her 5th year of college, which I told you were going to be a failure. You don't remember?
Yeah. And again, I didn't care. I never needed validation from my mother.
You did not care.
I was still going to tell her. And then if she didn't like it.
I did. I said, if you don't have a college degree, you're just not going to be able to make it in life.
And that's a lie.
I did.
It's a lie.
I grew up with my parents because my parents never went to college. And so therefore it was very important to
them. Are you saying
them.
that your parents aren't successful?
No. Wait a second. I have evolved. Can I evolve?
Yes. Okay. Evolve.
Okay. No, that was my parents' mentality because that's, they saw people being able to do more and better because they had a college degree. So that's how I grew up. And so therefore, I'm going to instill it in my kids. Yes, you wanted to drop out of college. And then, do you remember the thing that you said? You reminded me that who dropped out of Harvard and was successful?
Are you talking about Legally Blonde? Wait,
no.
Who dropped out of Harvard?
Who dropped out of Harvard? He did the computer stuff. Yes.
He dropped out of college?
But you said, and you used him as an example. Mom, he dropped out of college and look how successful he is.
Wow.
And what did I tell you?
What?
I said, when you get into Harvard, you can drop out of
Oh,
Harvard.
that's a
and
good response.
I will be okay with that.
I don't know if I could get into Harvard.
We should try. Answer that question?
Let's try.
Can I answer the question?
Answer.
No, you cannot get into
Harvard.
Okay. Regardless of all of that. Yes, but I'm amazed at what you have done.
Well, thank you. And here we are today. You're a part of my little dream.
And that is pretty crazy.
It is.
That I get to do all of this stuff and I would have never thought. And I've enjoyed it.
But didn't you say that you could kind of, knowing how persistent I am, that I would never.
I knew you were going to be successful. Here was my concern. I didn't know if it was going to be successful at the CEO of a company or successful in a woman's prison as
But you knew success would be there.
I knew success. I just didn't know what form it was going to go in.
Sure.
So that was a little scary.
That definitely makes sense. Well, thank you again for joining me here on this podcast and to all of our listeners, because we wouldn't be here without you. We're so grateful for you hanging out with us today. And remember that most of the joy you experience in life is the joy that you choose to see. So keep soaking up those little moments and showing up as the hot mama you truly are.